I'm Oglala Lakota from Pine Ridge, South Dakota, and today you're going to hear from 9 wonderful youth that are energizing the urban setting of what it is to be Native American in the city, and how do we bring back our cultural indigenous ways of growing food and growing vegetables to pumpkins. And many of us have family elders that have taught us the ways of and the means of what it is to grow our own food. This summer they have the opportunity to come together and plant, harvest, water, talk to seeds, and everything they're going to present to you is a whole overview of their summer. This summer it was a 12-week program, and so being able to understand what Shannon and what all you guys are here for, essentially the adult way of what we're doing, we condensed it to a youth-friendly version so that you can see what we're doing down with our younger kids and being peer mentors. So without further ado, they're going to all of them are going to introduce each other.
Okay. My name's Star Many Horses. I'm 12 years old. I'm Lakota, Cheyenne, Tuscaloosa, Musqueam, Ojibwe, and I go to DCIS.
I'm Katrina Hermione Horses. I'm Oglala Lakota, Cheyenne, Tuscaloosa, Musqueam, Ojibwe. I'm 17, and I'm a senior attending Denver Center for International Studies.
I'm Najoni, Oglala Lakota, and Net. I'm 13, and I go to Denver Center for International Studies.
Hi, my name is Asaria Varela. I am 14 years old. My tribes are Standing Rock, Sioux Lakota, and Dakota. And in school I go to Stratford.
Hi, my name is Chanel Francis. I am 14 years old. I am Hopi Navajo, and I go to South High School.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Anderson. I'm 16 years old. My tribe is Choctaw from Oklahoma, and I attend South High School.
Hello, my name is Kaya. I'm 16. I attend South High School, and my tribes are Navajo.
Super Marshall. I'm 15. I'm Navajo, Oglala Lakota, and Nez Pierce. I go to Denver Center for International Studies.
Hello, my name is Elias from Many Horses. I'm Oglala Lakota, Cheyenne, Tuscaloosa, Musqueam, and Ojibwe. I'm 15 years old, and I attend Denver Center for International Studies.
So as we go through this workshop, it is an interactive workshop. We're doing some activities with you guys, and activities we've done with our little ones. And keep in mind, this is their first presentation to anybody about this subject. So without further ado, we'll go on. Woohoo!
Okay. Hi again. So this is indigenous permaculture, and so what indigenous permaculture is knowledge that's been passed down from past generations, 7 generations to be exact, and so it's been passed down to us so that we can pass it down to future generations, for the kids we mentor. Okay, so yeah, and so what we did this summer is we did a summer camp, and what we were doing was we were passing down our knowledge to these kids. We were mentoring them, and I think it was a really great experience for me, and just an all around great way to spend my summer. So.
Okay, so adding on to what Kaya said, by bringing back this program, I guess, we brought back knowledge, like he already explained, and we started with like the youth, so like younger kids, and we were just basically the mentors and like guiding them with gardening. And the gardening program, it took place every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for the first 2 hours of each session we had. Next slide.
During this camp, we knew that there were indigenous values and principles that we had to abide by. Some of these were as young leaders, we knew that we had to build a trust and respect with the younger kids. And with this, we did different activities that involved cooperation within all of the kids that were at this camp. And another example of this would be gardening. We gardened with the kids, and at the beginning of this program, they weren't really sure whether they wanted to participate or not, kind of rebelling, but as the camp went on, we showed them that their participation in this gardening will help thrive the plants, and they get to see the outcome if they work together.
As you can see on the pictures, the kids would work together on watering the garden and team activities. They would come every day to water the plants to see how healthy and big they were. Next slide.
So, like, tying into what they said, we also had to teach the kids how to be mindful of the plants and each other and like everything. One of the main things was sharing over abundance. At DIC, where we were at, a big thing was sharing over abundance because they have a food bank there, and some of what we, like about half of what we harvested would always go to the food bank. And whenever the kids made things like seed balls or seed tape and whatever activities you did, they would always give half to the community and to the elders there. And yeah, it was just really great.
Adding on to what Shanoa said, we had to teach the kids how to respect like, all our plants and natures. And that was a challenge at first with the kids, but later on in the program, it was really fun. When I was little, I didn't really care about nature. But now learning all this and how important it is, it's pretty fun. The kids thought it was fun too.
Okay, so a big thing at DIC and the camp overall was like the observations and using our five senses, which are see, feel, smell, hear, and taste. And it helps us like become more aware of what we're doing. Not me, but and it helps us to observe what we're doing in everyday environments. And like the flower here, like if you don't really think about like the patterns it has, but that could be like, it could make it so it's easier to catch water or attracts more bugs. Or the patterns on the middle of the corn stalks, like it's a little spiral-ish thing. It's great. It's like a spiral, and that could be to help get water together. And yeah.
Adding on to what Shanoa said, using our observations and five senses help us become more aware of our surroundings and our environment. And then also about what she said about the sunflower. Our question is, does the patterns help attract anything like insects, rain, bees, anything? In that picture, the kids are doing seed balls and putting their hands in the soil. And then we save the seed balls for a year and take care of them and plan ahead.
And actually, I just realized something. Like, we also, some of the kids have never like taken off a leaf or a piece of the plant and just popped it in their mouth, and so that is a good experience for some of them. And some of them were really hesitant, like, what's gonna happen if I eat this? Like, they're kind of scared. You could tell.
Adding on what Shanoa says, in our garden down in Denver, we have all these plants there. We have all this medicine in our area. And so being able to go on the first day of this camp and say, well, here's a piece of a lettuce leaf that you can eat. Some of myself included was like, really, we can just eat off of this? Isn't there pesticides? Isn't there all this other stuff that's on this, or on our plants? And so not knowing the indigenous ways and knowing that, no, we don't use any of that essentially, that it was okay to just go ahead and eat it. There was medicine in there where one of our campers got a spider bite. And so Shannon and some of the youth went over to the garden and got whatever it was in their garden to heal that medicine bite up. And so just thinking out there in a bit out of the circle is what are other patterns that you see in plants that are beneficial to us when we're planting that you probably haven't grown garden?
Right, so things like usnea that looks like it's kind of like a green plant that hangs from the trees, and it looks a lot like your vein structure and things, and so then it tends to be beneficial for your lungs, which has a similar structure and visually looks similar.
It's a valid point.
And bindweed is the spider bite medicine. So bindweed, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Learn something new every day.
And another thing with the senses that we use, well, a big thing that my mom would say at the beginning of every gardening session was, Creator gave us 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth, which means you should see and hear more than you're talking, and that's something we always told the kids because they had time in the rest of the day to talk and to their friends and hang out with them, but then was the time for them to listen to my mom.
I think what Shanoa said is that we can always use it in everyday life, using those 2 ears and those 2 eyes and 1 mouth.
Okay. Okay. So leaving no carbon footprint. So this means 0 waste. And what 0 waste means is leaving no waste behind. So trying to reuse or compost all the materials. And the materials we use materials that can be composted or recycled. And so we use materials that were cheap, but they were also very durable. And because we try to use our materials our waste to the fullest. For example, he is using a 2-liter bottle, which is used for a watering can to water our plants in the morning. And
Yeah. And other examples, what we did in the garden was we had compost bins, and it was used for if people didn't finish their food, we could put it in those bins, and it would be fertilizer, like soil. And we would also do 0 waste, we wouldn't buy foam cups or anything that had foam or plastic. We would use reusable materials or silverware, like glass plates or bowls, and it would take longer because you would have to wash those things, but it would be worth it because we're cutting down the cost or the materials and that we're putting into the landfill.
So we brought some of our friends here today. They're very precious to us, I guess. They're kind of like our family. We really take care of them, and we give them food and everything, or just scraps we don't finish. So these are our worms that we brought. They're from our garden at the Indian Center where we have the summer camp. And so if you want to take a look at those, you can feel around them. Mostly at the bottom because they like to. They only come up to eat, but other than that, they stay down there. And so if you want, you can move them around and find some. And so yeah, that's really fascinating.
To add on to what Kaya said, well, with the worms, we would put them in our garden, but we would save some of them because what they do is when they poop, there actually has a lot of nutrients in it, and you could use that as fertilizer in the garden.
awesome. I think that when you look at these pictures, you see there's different ways of planting plants. There's different ways of using items that you guys probably have thought of, but to us young leaders and to me, myself, and to Star, who's one of our youngest campers, she was a camper and participated. So all these were her mentors, and she was able to start from the initial start when Shannon started this garden to actually grow with it. And so to see this happening, you know, when I came into the program, I didn't know that a pallet can be reused to garden, put flowers in, and some other stuff that is, you know, like a potato sack bag. I mean, who would have thought a potato sack bag would help, you know, grow some stuff? And so I think, Star, maybe that picture right here was one of your favorite activities, the beaded paper ones, or what do they call it?
Oh yeah, paper cuts. What you do is like, it's like paper you don't want or like a magazine. You could shred it and then those little tiny strips, you could roll them up and you can make paper beads.
Paper jewelry. For jewelry. And a lot of our indigenous ways, we try to reuse and we try to, you know, down in where our huge mentor Shannon is from, down on her reservation, they use whatever they can to recycle or to reuse. And so with that zero waste that we're slowly adapting to is that magazines, Men's Health, to any magazine you have at home, you can just put them into, wrap them up, and make them into balls, and it becomes an economic development for us, where we then make those necklaces and we sell them to people who are never would have thought to use a magazine roll like that. So this is some great ideas that are out there.
Sharing knowledge with our elders, honoring the wisdom of our elders and ancestors.
In our culture, our elders are very respected. You see kids nowadays don't even talk to their grandparents. You know, don't even know what's there, what stories they have, what traditions that they could pass on to our youth. So that right here, that's my grandma, and I'm very lucky to have her and my grandpa. The Denver Indian Center has an elder program and a youth program, and so they kind of collided together this year. Each elder got a tomato plant. The first 8 to 10 weeks, I think, the elders watched over our seeds, and to us, our seeds are precious. So we thought that they should watch over them. They also contributed to our garden. You know, they shared knowledge with us about how growing up, how they farmed and how they gardened and how they had their own garden. And they also, I know this year, both my grandma and my grandpa harvested some of the plants.
And there's other elders here that are pictured that are as relatives to us. So if any of the young leaders want to point out from their respective elders in the picture.
My grandma is right here. She's raking and kind of cutting up the mulch and soil for our fertilizer. And I just thought that everybody in here, our elders, are just their will is so strong that they want to keep going, even though they're getting very old. And I just thought that was really great to make this part of our PowerPoint to show you guys. So thank you.
Okay. My grandma's in there too.
She's right there.
And to look at all these elders and to think that, you know, some of them have problems, some of them are health, you know, they've been fighting health disparities in our indigenous culture. But when they come into the Diaphragm DIC Center, they forget about those problems. They see the younger generation. They see these young leaders. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they look forward to seeing them. And as much as we spent time with them and doing some of our activities with them, one of them, Madeline, she's the one right there, the very happy one on the other side. She is carving squash or harvesting the seeds for us. She always is wondering where the young leaders are. And so after the 12 weeks were done, we said, well, we had to give them back to school. They need to get their diplomas. And so we have one elder who's about 90, And she's just willing, God willing. She comes in every morning, and I think everybody from our staff at DIFRAC and DIC is we go and have a conversation with them to see, you know, how their day was or how their tomato is, or we gave them a flower too to see how if it's blooming, and all those conversations were spurred through Shannon. And I think Shannon is very mindful to making sure that they're in our circles and making sure that we know their knowledge so that we can then pass it down to Star, or Star then can pass it down to her kids or whoever she mentors. And so it's never too late to garden. It's never too late to ask our elders, you know, what can they do to help us? We're in a community where they want our help. They want us to go to them. So it's great community involvement.
Okay, so by show of hands, who all knows what GMO is? Good. That's awesome. I don't have to go over that part. Okay. So did you all hear about that bill that wasn't passed about GMO? Or the labeling that could be labeled on food? Yeah. Okay, just to start off about the pictures. So this was just like the cooking portion of our camp, like everything we grew, like we had tomatoes, carrots, like we also made a quiche out of it. So, and then, so all the seeds we used were heirloom seeds, and like a lot of them were donated by like different tribes, like the Cherokee and people in Oneida, and some were from down southwest.
Okay, so eating healthy. This means eating foods that nourish and cleanse your body. And so, since we all know what GMOs are, you know that most of the food we eat today are GMO food. And so, it's basically just DNA that's been put into the food we eat today that has been spliced or altered. I guess I was just going to talk about how long-term impacts from GMO are, but I guess you guys already know what GMOs are. So, but yeah, we just wanted to include this into our program that eating healthy is always a, I guess, to like lengthen your life, and to is that you can, I mean, yeah, there's gonna be a McDonald's around the corner, but why not have a onion or a tomato from a garden that you took care of, or just, you know, these kids were. I think this was one of the favorite parts about our camp was we got to make our own food. We never ordered anything, but we did make some quiche. We made some Mongolian food. It was actually a really great experience. So yeah.
Adding on to what Kaya said, we made like or everything we picked we used in our food for like the lunch portion, but like even like we made a salad one time. Forgot what else we made. It was just so amazing. Like I never thought like. Oh, we made soup too. What kind of soup that was. Yeah, I never was like a big fan of, you know, eating all this stuff, and like just to see all looks like so good and like it tastes good, so and it's good for you. So I just wanted to talk about that.
So with that being said, they are again, they all come from different ethnicities and backgrounds and cultures, and know that the health disparities in our indigenous people are huge. And so, you know, instead of feeding them a McDonald's meal or, you know, giving them, you know, a Burger King meal, we decided that with a program we call Cooking Matters, is that we go out in the morning, we harvest with our younger kids. We're gonna go harvest a meal and cook. And so that meal over there was the squash. With the eggs that were used in that were store-bought eggs. But we are now in the process of having our own farm in an urban setting, in an urban area. And so Kaya was part of the first day at that first urban farm. Kaya, what did you make there? Montbello.
Wow. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so at this Montbello farm, it was just a bunch of mulching. So I got to use all these power tools that I've never used before, and make this bed, this incredible bed for some vegetables. And we made 4 of those beds to grow some plants, and we made we got a bunch of strawberries and put them in there. It was just, I think it was awesome to be part of that because I've never used, I mean, I guess I have used power tools before, but just tools that were really cool that I got to be mentored by a guy that I've never met before, but it's pretty cool. So yeah.
So yeah, he did make the beds. There were some of us out there along with our staff and Shannon. We planted strawberries. It's actually 2 acres of farmland in the urban setting where we're going to have sheep, cows, chickens, and various other animals there. And I think by having the urban kids and having our young leaders here raising those foods, because back down in the Southwest, they raise sheep, right? And what is the word they use for sheep, and what do you guys eat down there?
Mutton sandwiches.
Mutton sandwiches. So that's a delicacy for down there. And so along with this quiche, they learned how to harvest and pick weeds. How many of you know you can eat weeds? Yeah, so I didn't know, they didn't know, and so we decided to get, there's some parsley in there, mallow, and pigweed and gooseweed. And some of that was in that quiche they made, but they hardly knew. The first expression they had was like, oh, we can eat this? But then as soon as it was cooked, as soon as it was made, they were like, oh, this is good. So we made 2 more other dishes of quiche from that. And so our center is located downtown, almost in the urban, like in the Westwood area. So it's hard to keep track of our harvest, keep track of planting. But when we do, we have those corn out there that we have right here. We do get some individual pickers coming through, picking. I had a corn there. Somebody picked my corn that I wanted to pick. So being able to go through the center and through what we have, we see all these plants there, and you won't at any other urban city or center, you won't see that. And so we're very unique at that, and for them to all be involved with this and reuse the stuff we planted is amazing.
Okay, taking care of our relatives. So our relatives are not just physical people. In our culture, we take care of our elements, our plants, ourselves, animals, everybody. So when I took part in this program, at the beginning we had to take care of seeds and we had to treat them like we were babies. And I never did that before, like their seed. But like now, as I took part, as I participated more in this program, I realized how like everything to us is sacred. Like even I remember my grandparents telling me like before this land like didn't belong to anybody. You couldn't say that in any Native American language. We were just there temporarily. So like we should take care of it in the time that we're here.
So by planting in our garden, we not only provided food for the Native community, but we provided a habitat for other organisms in the ecosystem. With this, they pollinated and helped our plants that we were growing in our garden thrive, which helped us.
So what did we find in our garden?
Turtle.
And birds.
Various different birds, different insects. It's weird because where we're located, you wouldn't think a turtle would live in. I was like, where did turtle come from? I know we have cats, dogs, raccoons, chickens. We've seen like these 2 chickens coming. We were driving to practice, and I was like, we seen a fox out in the middle of by the church area. And then we were driving, we turned around, and there was some chickens just walking up the street. And we're like, man, like what's really going on? So to find this turtle was amazing because I was like, what do we, what food is in our garden that attracts a turtle? So yeah, exactly. And so we haven't necessarily found